Hi guys, and welcome to episode 2 of Airplane Mode with EF Ultimate Break. I'm your host, Sarah Boss. I'm so glad that you're here. If you are new, welcome to Airplane Mode. We are a creator-to-creator travel podcast where we talk about inspiration, tips, stories, and we hear from our community just like you. So go ahead, turn your airplane mode on, and let's get started. So today we are talking with Alexa Moore, also known as Little Miss Awkward. Alexa is a full-time content creator, and the only way that I can describe her content is bingeable. If you are looking for that push to book that trip, if you need that just little travel fix, you need to go check out her page. Her content is fantastic. Alexa, I'm so excited to have you here.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So you started full-time travel content creating 3 years ago. What were you doing before?
That's a great question. I worked in the environmental sector. I went to school to study. I wanted to be an actress, but my mom told me that no. And
Mom's like, I don't know.
Mom said, you're going out of state. You're going to pick something you might be able to get an office job with. So I did both. I did theater and I also did environmental studies. And then I worked for the EPA and I worked for a nonprofit organization that was there to protect the environment. And then I became a influencer.
Love, is that job what brought you to DC?
No, I'm actually from the area. So I was
Really?
born and raised in Arlington, a small town it's not small, a very bustling town right outside of Washington, D.C. So I went to college and then came right back home. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And what made you go full time?
So it's going to sound really dramatic, but this was 2021, I believe. And so we were kind of getting to the go back to the office phase for a lot of organizations around DC. And so I remember my boss and the people I worked with, they were amazing, right? But I was in charge of trying to get people, the office back in order, right? Because people basically were like, oh, we're all coming back in 2 weeks. And then they came back 2 years or a year later, right? So I was back in the office and, this is 2022. I was back in the office and I was tasked with helping to pack people's stuff up. And I don't know what it was about carrying these boxes. And I was like, I don't want to do this. And
oh my God, this is like a movie scene.
it was like box in hand. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. And I was like, it was like that moment.
Metaphorically packing your box.
Looking at all of the cubicles in front of me and knowing I just can't, I don't want to. And that was the moment. And I was like, okay, let me go talk to my husband. Let me go talk to my parents. Though I don't need their validation. I like to know that mom and dad are okay with it.
Yeah, me too, girl. Me too.
And so once all my ducks were, I literally told my husband, we had a conversation about it. He's super supportive. I told my dad, super easy. He's my biggest fan. My mom, I was so nervous. And I remember driving over to her house. And before I could even talk to her, I started crying. But I was I just feel like I have this job. I was already making travel content. I was already monetizing. And I was like, I think I can do it. And she was like, if you feel like you can do it, then do it. And then I did it.
Oh my gosh. So you were already monetizing your travel content. You were already traveling, already passionate about travel.
Yes, for sure.
Wow. And it sounds like your friends, family were very supportive. Or was anybody I don't know, maybe take a beat.
Well, I will say, I don't think a lot of people understood what that meant, right? I told people, oh yeah, I'm going to be a travel creator. And they were like, okay, that is amazing, sweetie. You go, girl. But
silence, okay.
But I don't know that people knew I was making money, right? And so kind of was a period of education, especially even for my parents. Well, for my mom, it was okay, mom, this is a job and I make income from it. And it's enough income to be able to sustain myself. And it took a little bit of time. But now, my parents have business cards of mine that they just hand out to people. Yeah.
That is so cute, so supportive.
They're super supportive, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, it's very interesting. I get questions and I realize that people looking into the industry, they're like, I get the question, how do you make money? Mm-hmm. And I worked in marketing before this, so I was aware of how that happened, but I realized, oh my gosh, people don't realize like how you actually earn an income doing content. And it can just seem very glamorous. Just you're going everywhere. I'm sure, especially as a content creator, it just feels like people are just watching you travel. They're like, how is she actually making money? What do you think is like romanticized about specifically travel content creation that just isn't quite true?
I would say almost every part of it. I mean, like, for example, in comparison, a lifestyle creator, right? So, a lot of times you're doing campaigns that you can film at home, which is amazing, right? It's not like the requirement to then take on a 7-day itinerary where you're up from 5 a.m. to possibly 11 p.m. at night, filming content and like showing face and like being at meetings. You know, it's a very active job. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, someone who is filming, and this is no hate because I would love to do lifestyle and I would love to be like,
Oh my gosh, no. I'm like, I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm
yeah,
like, I think about what you do and I'm like, oh, my stomach hurts.
I would, but like a deliverable sometimes involves like going on a hike. I hate hiking, right? I love nature and seeing it, but you know, like the thought of, okay, I have to hike. This is part of my job now that I'm hiking somewhere, which is so I can just showcase to the people in my audience who do love hiking that, you know, this is something that you're able to do as well. So I think that's one of the main things, that it's just vacation all the time. But I also don't want to sound like it's not vacation, because I am going to really cool places and I do get to do really fun vacation like stuff. It's just not all downtime, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, 100%. We'll talk a little bit more about that mentality switch as well, because I think it's totally valid. I'm not a travel creator, but I have done content while I've been traveling.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time that I did it, where took that seriously. I was like, oh, I really want to, document this trip. And I was like, oh, it's a fully different way of working. But we'll talk more about that later. So what is one lesson that travel's taught you that you wish everybody knew?
There are so many opinions of so many places. And I think one thing that stops a lot of people from even visiting a place or going somewhere is they've heard from someone that Mexico is like this, or they've heard that Thailand is like this, or people here don't like this. And I always tell people, you have to just see it for yourself. You just have to, live life and experience these things. Get rid of all of those preconceived notions that you have about a place. And this applies to life in general. I think sometimes we psych ourselves out of even doing these things because we heard like, oh yeah, don't go to Mexico because of this and this and this. And even it'll be like our closest friends and families who are turning us away from these experiences. And I know it's out, they want us to be okay and safe and all those things, but I really feel like we have to push past it. And then when you arrive, just, not that you can't have opinions or thoughts about places, but just try to be as open as possible.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Usually when I'm getting those opinions, I find that they haven't actually been there yet.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, well, let me go see for myself. So travel content creation, this lifestyle, I mean, it's a different lifestyle, especially going from like a cubicle office job. What is something that you have gained from this lifestyle? And what is also something that you've lost with this lifestyle?
I can tell you what I lost before I can tell you what I gained.
Okay.
I think what I lost is the ability to disconnect, because now I see, this is a great conversation. I've not gone on my honeymoon yet. We'll eventually do it. But even in that, it's like, I would love to go to St. Lucia. I would love to go to Fiji, but do I document it? Right? Because now I have this community and I just want to share things with them. But I feel like I've kind of lost, not privacy per se, but that just totally unplugged. I'm going somewhere. I'm not even bringing a camera or a phone or anything. I just don't really experience that anymore because I see it. I'm like, wow, I should share this with the world, or I should share this with my audience.
It's like instinct.
Yeah.
It's instinct that you want to share.
Exactly. And what is something I have gained? Maybe it is an appreciation for those times that I get to be a little slow, like going on a trip but staying a few days after and just sitting in a hotel, not sitting in a hotel, but just experiencing, like taking things slow. This is such a fast-paced career and travel in general can be very fast paced. So I have a lot of appreciation now for just stillness. Like, I really enjoy being at home. It's like one of my favorite things now. Just, I love traveling, but just coming home and being with my dog and my husband and cooking meals. Oh my gosh, cooking meals, wonderful.
So with you, like, you're talking about wanting that stillness or like not knowing if you should record, if you shouldn't, when you are traveling, do you feel performative, or do you feel like you have to put on almost like, oh, it's my work face as you're recording? And how do you balance that with staying honest in your content? Yes, what you're doing is fun, but it's also your job.
Sometimes, yes. I think it's more so I understand that it is my job to record content, but I kid you not, I am not someone who loves to record themselves. I do not like interrupting spaces. Like, if we're at a site or in a museum, like, I do not want to set up a tripod, and I do not want to ask someone to record me. So yes, but more so because how I normally would be is not someone who would record myself at all, which seems silly. But so yes, a little bit, but I try my hardest to kind of stay true to myself, which is a little awkward.
Little Miss Awkward.
A little Miss Awkward. And but it is hard too, because the landscape of content changes so much. As you probably know, storytelling is huge right now. Like, every brand wants you to storytell. And I do enjoy telling a story, but there's different content styles that I know perform really well now, like talking to the camera, which is something I'm not comfortable with, but I would like to be. So I think sometimes, yes, I think I do have to be a little bit performative, just because that means I'm out of my comfort zone, and that's probably when content is best.
Oh, I do love that. I like that you are feeling it's not necessarily like somebody that's not you, but it's you, diving into your content, challenging yourself.
Yeah.
I really like that view. When you're traveling with others, do you have like a travel ick that is like, oh, I can tell you are a bad traveler?
Oh my God.
I know. I have mine.
I have so many.
Oh, let's hear them.
Okay. I cannot travel with people who are upset that people don't speak English in countries where they don't speak English. Isn't that crazy?
Oh my God. That surprises me just because what?
Yeah, there are people who will and I understand getting frustrated because I don't even like to say language barrier, but there's just difference of language, right?
Yeah.
That's a part of travel. We have so many tools at this point where, even if I have to do like the little speech to thing on my phone with Google Translate, like, we'll get through it.
It feels awkward, like you may be uncomfortable for a second, but it's that shouldn't be a bother
Exactly.
in my mind.
Yeah. I think number 2 is people who always compare things to back home. Like, oh, this waterfall is like this, or like, yeah, this chicken's not as good as the stuff I get. And, like, what's the point? Why leave if you're just going to continuously compare things to how it is back home? Especially like the comparison of, and I know people do it to relate sometimes, but like the comparisons between this and a place in the US, sometimes it just gives me the ick.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, that gives me the ick thinking about it.
And then I would say people who complain too much.
Yeah.
You get like 2 a day.
Yeah, maybe. Traveling's hard enough. Like, traveling is, everybody's going to cry. You're going to cry at some point. There's going to be things that go wrong, especially if you're going international. You're going to a full different culture. There's going to be frustrations. We can't be complaining the whole time, or else we're not going to have anything else to say. We will be at a loss for words. Those are our only words, because something's going to also go wrong. You really, we need positivity in here. Okay, well, now, you are a female. You travel a lot. How do you encourage other females to travel, even when the girls' trip doesn't make it out of the group chat? Because that happens very often. I would say a lot of girls' trips die in the group chat.
They really do.
They really do. Rip.
I think the best decision I ever made a few years ago was to, this is what I drop in group chats now. Hey, I'm going to Belize. Let me know if you want to come. Because if you don't want to come, I'm still going to Belize.
Yeah. Wait. Write it down. Write it on the scroll. Write it on the scroll.
Type it out.
Taking notes.
I just
I'm
realized,
going.
I'm going. I mean, that's how you have to approach. I have to approach things now. I think I love this new era of solo female travel. It is solo women travel, just women traveling the world solo. My mom just went on a 2-month solo trip. Yes. My mom. Yes. Who was scared of me traveling solo? So it's like things are a changing.
Things are changing. My mom just got her first passport. I'm so excited for her.
Where's she going to go? Where does she want to go?
Well, my brother joined the Marines, and so she was like, "Oh, if my baby's getting deployed, then I need to be able to go where he is." Yeah, basically, she was like, "I want to be able to go if I need to," and I'm like, "You know what, Mom? You know what? Let's go." But also, I was like, "German Christmas markets? Let's go to Edinburgh, like together." She's like, "Okay." I was like, "Okay." So we've got an exciting thing today. So we have some of our Ultimate Break community. They have actually submitted some questions for you. So let's go through some of their questions, shall we?
Yeah.
Yes, let's do it. Okay, first question. I really like this one. What's your biggest safety tip while traveling?
Number one, always, 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 always have internet connection on your phone or data on your phone. Like always.
Yeah.
I do not care if it costs $15 a day. It's worth it to ensure that you are able to access transportation apps. Call people, call home. People can track you on Find My Friends. Like, you need service on your phone. There are so many eSIM companies at this point. Get a little data pass or whatever. Just always have service on your phone. I would say number 2 is your location needs to be shared with at least 2 to 3 of your trusted friends or family. I would even go a step further and share your itinerary. I share my flights. You can even, on your Notes app or in a Google Doc, you can just put like all your travel information. Hey, this is the hotel I'm staying at. And if that changes, you can just go ahead and update the document, and your friends or family will know, like, okay, Alexa's going to be in Turkey here and she's going to Istanbul then, and whatnot. So that's my biggest one. And then 3 is just have all the apps on the phone that makes getting around and communicating easier. So that means downloading the city that you're visiting. You can download a map, like, and use it offline. So just in case that data does not work, you can still have access to it. Download a translation app so you can communicate with people. There's just so many apps, wonderful apps available. And then my last one would be get travel insurance, because
Okay. I feel like people go either way. I've become a travel insurance girly probably the last 3 years. I was definitely a fly by the seat of my pants type of person. And then you know what? I think 2020 kind of made everybody a little bit more into travel insurance, to be honest.
like maybe.
Next. Okay. How do you start as a part-time travel content creator? If somebody's like, okay, I'm like inching towards that leap. I'm not ready to take the leap yet, but I want to start as a part-time content creator.
Ooh, I was part-time for about a year, and I would say the number one step is post. I think that's the hardest step. It's one no one wants to hear it, but it is the first step and the hardest. Is just post on some sort of consistent basis, and then maximize. If you're working a 9 to 5, maximize that PTO, those holidays. There's every year creators, they post these calendars where they'll show you like, okay, if you're in the US, you'll get a long holiday if you leave after veterans, there's ways.
Oh yeah, they gamify the holidays. I love those. I'm like, this is so smart.
Yeah, extremely helpful. I would say use that to your fullest advantage. I leave out on a Friday and fly back on Monday morning and go to work, and that sounds a little wild. But, you really have to maximize your time. And again, just post on a consistent basis, figure out what you want to share as well. I feel like it's really easy to fall into the trap of, I'm going to make the same video as everyone else. But the best thing you could do for yourself to really gain notoriety and then also start to monetize is have a very unique story. So whatever you can bring to the table is important.
Yeah, I love that. Speaking of which, speaking of content, what is it like navigating a content schedule in being a travel content creator? Do you have any tips? I'm super curious about this because, yeah, as I binge, I'm like, oh, it's like we're going from city to city. It's so engaging. And I was like, I want to know her. I want to pick her brain. I want to know what's going on in her noggin as she's planning this out.
If you could, you know that clip from SpongeBob where he's like burning
Yeah.
that is my brain. There is no content plan. It's probably not great. I probably need a content calendar, but I do formulate kind of when I go on trips, I have a few ideas for videos in mind, but then I come home and before I can even unpack, I will try to write down as many video ideas as possible on what I just completed in the last 2 weeks. I would even recommend someone to do it before they go or while they're on their trip to just start typing away like, oh, we went to the market today and this would be a really cool video idea. And then I always start with kind of a foundational video, like a know before you go, or like 5 things to know, or this is how to form an itinerary. And then I just kind of every so often release a video that was probably supposed to be scheduled weeks before. But
No, I
yeah.
like it. I think it totally works out. So you post before, during, and after trips as well. Like,
I try to post like the last few days. So I typically don't post live. That should have been my safety tip. Do not post live.
yeah, I feel that.
Like, especially if you're a woman traveling solo. Yeah, just wait until you get home. If you're seeing something from me and it's not like a work campaign, I'm typically posting it 2 weeks after I've gone. So I would say delay as much as possible, but I try to like last day of trip, I'll post a carousel to get people excited for the content that should be coming up soon.
Yeah. Oh, I love that a lot. All right. So now, how do you get hosted? And do you have any tips for starting to partner with travel brands?
So I have been very lucky that a lot of my partnerships have been inbound. I have not had to pitch a lot, but pitching is really important. But even before pitching, I think if you are just starting out as a travel creator, if you can build a portfolio of some kind, even if it's an organic, you went to a hotel and you made a video about it. If you could maybe collect all of those videos. I use this program called Influence Kit. It's really supposed to be for like campaign reporting metrics, but
Okay.
I sometimes use it to pitch. And so it'll pull, you like drop the links to your content and it will pull your insights for like each video that you did. And so I'll share this with brands. If I want to pitch like a hotel, it's basically just a portfolio of all the posts, like the former hotel content I've posted about. So they can see like what the numbers were, how many stories I posted and what's not. So they can get an overview of what they might be getting if they were to hire me or if they were to host me for a campaign.
That's a really, really good tip. Oh my gosh, you were sharing so much. I love that. Okay. Next question. What is the biggest difference between traveling for pleasure and traveling for business / in an influencer mentality? We've touched on this a little bit.
For me, there tends to be no difference.
No difference. It's all blended.
Difference. Oh, I will say the difference. It's if I bring my camera or if I don't bring my camera.
Oh.
If I don't bring like the full setup, the tripods, the drone, the camera, I'm probably not there for work, but I'm still going to record on my iPhone.
I'm about to send you like one of those like old school, like a BlackBerry or like a
Yes.
Razor phones and be like, this is your phone for when you're going somewhere and you're offline. Okay, last one from the audience questions. Do you ever feel like you're missing out in the moment if you're constantly working? I feel like this is a theme.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I do sometimes.
Yeah.
There are some moments where I do want, but then again, I am someone who just likes, even before I was a creator, I just like taking photos and videos of things. Because sometimes I will just go on my phone and reminisce. I was just looking at pictures of me in high school this morning and just swiping. But I like,
Oh, that's so cute.
yeah, I like recording memories. And I feel like I try to hold myself to a standard of not doing anything that would really take too much away from the memory. Like, I'm not gonna see lanterns go up and be like, guys, I am watching the lanterns go up right,
right now.
I'm gonna just watch the lanterns. That's it. And maybe that might affect my content down the road, and I might not seem as genuine or like in the moment in my content. But if that means that I could be in the moment mentally for myself and be able to make that memory, then I'm happy with that.
Yeah, no, I get that. And I think a lot of us start because we already take videos, we take photos and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes I have to also switch my brain. I'm like, I'm recording this and now I know this is part of my job, but also remind myself like, hey, it's okay for me to enjoy recording this moment as well, for me to look back on. Like, I just happen to be also going to post it, but this is for me. And just keep like thinking about that. I'm like, yeah, whether I was doing content or not, I would have been recording anyway.
Exactly. I mean, the amount of random videos I have from probably middle school, like, can you imagine, or high school?
Oh,
like,
yeah. I still have them. Oh, they're still up on my YouTube channel.
Oh,
I thought about. I was like, am I going to clear
hilarious.
this out? I said no, I'm not. She was a piece of me.
Yes, and because now you can remaince, and that's why you recorded it in the first place.
You know, my first vlog ever was of my real vlog was of my first trip out of the country, which was with EF Ultimate Break. And you see me, I'm recording out of like a bus window from us like traveling to our hotel or something. I go, it's so beautiful. And it's a line of trash cans. I think we landed in Germany first. And it's just this line of trash cans.
Like, wow.
Yeah. And I didn't realize that until I was watching it with somebody else. They were like, Sarah. I was like, oh, all I see is a girl that is so happy, honestly.
Excited to be there with the foreign trash cans.
With the foreign trash cans. Yeah. Those were some really good questions. I loved them. We also have our carry on only segment where we're going to do our fast five. But we will get there. Before we do that, I want to hear more about your viral spots series. Tell me more about that.
I've always been big on transparency. I feel like when I started my platform, I was always just curious. Like, people never talked about things very honestly. They just showed us really beautiful places. So I was like, how about I just start honestly talking, rating things? And yeah, I don't even know where I got the concept from, but I love it. I think people really enjoy honesty. I think actually TikTok showed me how much people really just enjoyed hearing other people's opinions about things. And I think it brings a new perspective, especially with viral things, right? I have been victim to so many viral trends and viral food trends, like rainbow bagels and currently it's Dubai chocolate. I still haven't had one. Yeah. But
I don't eat chocolate, so
What?
I like see it from afar. No, I can't. I think it's disgusting. I know, and I know that is a flaw of mine. Like, I know.
I'm not
but
gonna say I'm here judging.
No, it's okay. People have considered their friendship, or I'll say reconsidered their friendship with me over that, and I really can't, I can't blame them.
Wait, so do you not drink coffee?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't do coffee. And I don't eat chocolate.
Matcha? Like,
no. Okay. I love a matcha.
Okay.
I love a matcha.
Okay.
This is what I can offer. If I go to a coffee shop, I'm not totally lost. I mean, actually, that's not true. If I go to Europe, I'm usually lost in the coffee shops because they don't have any of the cutesy matcha. And I'm like, I'm that poor girl that's like, do you have a iced matcha? They're like, no. I'm like, oh, right.
In Italy, they're going to just give you like a glass of milk and
they just look at me. I'm like, no, it's okay. She'll take a cappuccino. I'm going to see my way out.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
No, but if I feel like you are like you're the original de-influencing. Like, you are going to these places, you are speaking truth. And so you see these things online, you see a viral spot and you're like, you know what, I'm going to go test it for myself, and you give your honest opinion. How do you balance that while also wanting to be respectful to the business as well? Like, you're, visiting a new place and not necessarily bashing, but making sure that people know if it's worth it or not.
Yeah. I feel like roses and thorns, I feel like I try to do 99.9% roses. And then also remembering, right, because the internet is the internet, that everyone has their own opinions. So my spin is always like, I'm not telling you not to try it. this is just how I personally felt about it, right? Because if you read comments, people will be like, actually, I went to this bakery and I hated it. It's like,
yeah. Oh, they're always going to yucky or yum
Yeah.
or whatever. So I'm like, listen, I'm just telling you.
that's totally fine. But like, that's the beautiful thing about being a human. Like, we all have different opinions and different tastes. And so that is totally fine. So just remembering that. And then again, just saying like, or I will try to call out something I really did enjoy. So if it was like, I didn't like the affogato that much, but you know what? There was lines wrapped around, and I know this is super popular, and they've been in business for blah, blah, blah amount of years, and they're killing it. Like, I just try to be as uplifting as possible.
Compliment sandwich.
Exactly. Compliment sandwich.
Exactly. So, and you talked about storytelling earlier. How do you approach storytelling with, like, when you're visiting places like these that hundreds of other people have reviewed before and making yours look different?
I think, one, bringing in that personal aspect, I think that's what really you have to nowadays, right? I think, I was just thinking about this because in Vietnam, I also went to Vietnam with the EF Ultimate Break. It was amazing.
Oh my God, dream.
It was the best trip. Vietnam, everyone goes to Vietnam and makes it, this sounds bad, but makes the same video, which is basically like, I went to Vietnam and I got custom clothes made, right? So it's like, it's a very popular thing because everyone wants to go get custom clothes. Duh. If you could get jeans or pants that fit you properly, you would do it too. So it's like, okay, I know this is something people want to know about, but how do I make it me? And I think just bringing in your personality, your commentary, interesting things that happen to you, a little bit of conflict. Oh my gosh. People love conflict. I was just watching videos about storytelling and how that conflict resolution has to kind of happen there as well. But yeah, bringing in your personal opinion and just making it you. What is something that is interesting that happened in your story that may not have happened in everyone else's? For example, the beautiful seamstress who did mine, my pants didn't fit correctly. We were about to leave for the airport, and she literally rode her motorbike over to refit me for my pants. Yes. She's
great
wonderful.
Story.
Yeah, exactly. That it just, you have to bring in something different, completely different.
No, every time, as a content creator, I feel like if something goes wrong or there's like a, oh my gosh, like, did that really happen moment? Or like, really, if there's anything that's slightly frustrating, I'm like, content. Like, that's a good story, man.
People like conflict. People like solutions. They like to see like the whole story form from I got kicked off the plane to I made another flight or
Yeah. No, I felt that. I was with you the entire time. Captivated. Oh my God. So, and you go to a ton of viral destinations. You travel a lot. Has that changed the way that you consume travel content?
Sometimes I think so. I love hearing about viral destinations or places that I should go to that need to be on everyone's bucket list because I am the most easily influenced influencer you will ever meet in your life. I love it. Give me the affiliate link.
Yeah. Oh, no, you're right. I think the easiest people to influence is an influencer. Oh, yeah. I will DM them being like, where's the link, mama? Give it to me now. Where do I sign up?
I want to go there too, actually. They'll be like, this place is full of people. Like, those Instagram versus reality places? And I'm like, but I get why it's Instagram versus, I get why it's reality. Like, this is gorgeous. And I'm going to go there.
This is gorgeous. I'm on Google Flights as the video's not over. And I'm here.
Literally.
I'm on the plane.
I'm literally booking my flight right now. I love it. I love popular things. That sounds like she's not a traveler. She's a tourist. I love being a tourist. It's one of my favorite things.
Well, and you made it your job.
Yeah.
That's like the best part.
Yeah. We're
going to go into our Fast Five. This is rapid fire questions. This is called Carry On Only. Are you ready?
I am.
You're going to be great. It's going to be really good. These are pretty easy, and I think you'll have good answers because you've had fantastic answers for everything else. Okay, first one. What's one spot that absolutely lived up to the hype?
Oh my gosh. Halong Bay.
Yes. She was like, yep.
In Vietnam.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Love that. How about a place that deserves to go viral but hasn't yet?
St. Croix in the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Ooh.
Shameless plug, my husband's from there, so it's beautiful.
Write down. Immediately write down. What travel destination do you think is still an undiscovered gem?
Maybe like Benin in West Africa.
Okay.
It's gorgeous. There's a lot of history there. And it was one of the most culturally impactful places I've ever been to. So I would say there. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was a great answer. I'm sold. Wow, that's amazing. That was beautiful. Okay, I love this. I'm so interested in this one. 3 things that you always pack.
Number 1 is my universal little converter adapter. Have to. Number 2 is a portable battery, like charger, right? But the one with cords. Like, I'm not bringing an extra cord. Like, it has to have little cords on it. And number 3 would probably be a laundry bag. I cannot. My dirty and clean clothes mixing in my suitcase. No.
No, you don't know a smell like a 2, 3, 4 week traveling where you are go, and you're collecting. That's different.
Yeah.
You do need to come up with a system because that is a different lifestyle.
Especially when you're in a place where laundry is not
accessible.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. No. Been there, done that. I get that. Okay. Last one. One thing you wish you knew sooner about being a full-time content creator.
I wish I knew that. I wish I. Sorry, I wish with all my heart to fly.
I'm so, yeah. Like, energetically, I get it. And I like it.
I wish I knew that your audience size has very little to do with how much money you can make. I think people think like million followers, $1 million. And that is not true. There are lots of people with really big platforms that have not really successfully monetized. But you don't need like 70 million thousand followers to monetize. It's way less about, I think audience size does matter, but I think what you can bring matters, and the quality of your content matters even more. If you can film, record 4K, you get a nice microphone, you get the visuals, you take time to learn an editing app like CapCut. If you can create content that brands would naturally just share on their pages, and then you also bring a personal aspect and you also bring in your personal expertise, you can make money.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That is so good. Oh my gosh. Alexa, this has been so fun. This has been so fun. Thank you so much for coming on to Airplane Mode. Your answers were so fantastic. You're so helpful. Obviously, we love your content. Guys, if you enjoyed this episode, please go like and subscribe. Thank you, Alexa, again. Thank you guys for listening. And the seatbelt sign is now off. And we will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
I fear we must FaceTime. I don't know. See, I did this thing where I force friendship. I'm very good at it. And I'm not sure if you've decided, but I have.
No, we're friends.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we're friends.
Because I'm like, I have other things to talk to you about.